Bloomberg Audio Studios. Podcasts, radio, news.
The Stock Movers Report, your roundup of companies making moves in the stock market, harnessing the power of Bloomberg data.
Let's take a look now at some stocks on the move today in Europe. I'm Stephen Carroll and I'm joined by Bloomberg's breaking news editor Louise Moon. Louise, good morning. Let's start then with the moves that we are seeing in energy companies and the oil majors as oil prices have spiked this morning.
Indeed, yeah, the main focus of the market this morning, as I say, oil prices spiked, surging past $100 a barrel. That's as more Middle Eastern countries are starting to cut their output. Essentially, there's not enough space for storage. Storage is filling up due to the closure of Hormuz, and so more countries are starting to reduce their output. The UAE, Kuwait joining Iraq with that. Of course, others might be forced to also do the same going forward. Now, there's talks later today between the G7 finance ministers. They're going to talk about coordinating or potentially coordinating release of oil reserves. That has taken some slight heat out of the market, but essentially there's no signs of de-escalation in the Middle East. Oil prices are surging. And if you look at markets, BP and Shell in London rising this morning, some of the only risers on the FTSE 100 this morning. And then you look kind of widely more across Europe. You've got the likes of Equinor, Vår Energy, both in Oslo, also rising into the green on the back of this. So, as you say, energy, oil companies benefiting from this surge in pricing.
Indeed, another story, of course, being told, though, across the airline shares this morning.
Yeah, they're at the other end of the scale. So this is really hitting airlines even further. Obviously, fuel costs will increase on the back of this. This is on top of a host of other woes that airlines are facing on the back of the Middle East war. So more than 27,000 cancelled flights. Jets are displaced across the world. Routes are changing. You know that these could potentially become more expensive because they have to go via longer routes to get to the destination. So total disruption of the aviation industry, and this surge in costs this morning adding to that. So you've got in London, IAG, Ryanair, Wizz Air, EasyJet, all down across Europe. TUI down more than 3%, Air France down about 5%. So hitting the airlines today.
And what about the wider commodity space and the miners, the likes of Anglo American?
Yeah, it's a really interesting one. They're actually under pressure across Europe today. There was a note from JPMorgan, which is kind of hitting that wider commodity sector. Essentially, they've reversed what was previously quite a positive view on the sector, and they're saying that the impact of the Middle East is yet to be fully discounted. So they highlighted the Russia-Ukraine war and the precedent that had, or that set on the sector. And they said that the reaction so far in the commodities and the miners seems to be benign from the Middle East war. So while they still see quite a, what they say, compelling longer term outlook, particularly for copper, and they're still very bullish on gold, that's being overshadowed by these near term risks. So they issued a lot of downgrades across the sector, mostly concentrating on copper and on steel. So as you say, Anglo American, Antofagasta, Rio Tinto all cut. Anglo leading the drags on the FTSE 100 this morning. And then across Europe, the basic resources index was the worst performer, or is the worst performer on the stocks 600. So a lot of pressure there.
The Stock Movers Report from Bloomberg Radio. Check back with us throughout the day for the latest roundup of companies making news on Wall Street. And for the latest market-moving headlines, listen to Bloomberg Radio live. Catch us on YouTube, Bloomberg.com, and on Apple CarPlay and Android Auto with the Bloomberg Business app.